All right. And we are both live. One is under the weather, but we both will have the last word on these looter shooters. What's going on, E, man? How you feeling, man?
Well, if you can't tell by my voice, I've been fighting through some junk.
Mm,
It's just one of those times. Like everybody in this area seems to be getting sick right now. Quite a few people at work. So it's just one of those. You're like, you work with people enough, like in close quarters, it's going to happen. So my
yeah.
voice took the front of it. It seems like at this point. So I do apologize. I'll be letting Cognito get some points out there, and he's got some good opinions today to throw out to the world. So I'm going to let him get those out there.
Yeah, man.
But you guys can still hear me.
Mhm.
So.
And we are happy.
Uh,
We are happy because this man is powering through for y'all right now. Let me explain this.
This is what we do. Yeah, I was
You
like,
know?
there were less videos on the channel this week, but the podcast got to happen.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to the chats, people rolling in. Shout out to Ebon's chat, Vagabondo. I see him back. Say, John, good morning, good morning. And my chat, Ravager, one of the first to catch live. Par 5, what's going on? Yes, it's Friday. We made it. And we're gonna talk these games, man. But what I know you've been under the weather, but what have you gotten a chance to play?
For me, a little bit of um, Crimson Days, just basically enough to get my, basically just enough to get my bow. That was it, and then I was kind of done.
Good, man. You're ahead of me, man. I touched literally like one day, potentially perfect. Mr. Delapo's in the building, sir. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you in the looter shooter realm. I like that. That's good. No, yeah, for me, I literally touched like I went to Shaq's, got a few things done, but I've been so busy this week. I really haven't got a chance, and a little concerned because I got to get this stuff done because it's only here for the week, and we know what's launching at conclusion of said podcast.
Like literally no downtime. So depending on how long we talk, it might be like concurrently. By the way, it's live.
Yeah,
Might be just like that.
I'm worried, E. I'm worried because it's like I know myself, and the minute I launch Anthem, Crimson Days might be a wrap, and I don't know how to handle this problem because this is a time thing. I need to get these things done.
So I will tell you the best way to do it, and for all of those of you who need to know,
Talk to me.
there's daily bounties. They're worth like 15. They're usually not that bad. And then there's a Nightfall duo. So find one other person, go throw like a Singe and a Heavyweight on there, knock out a Nightfall. The Nightfall's worth 75 of the currency, and you need 25 more to get the bow. Everything else is cosmetic, so it's optional. So that's literally all I did. I did a Nightfall with my brother, and then like we did 2 bounties, and I was done. And I was like, and I'm kind of done. So, so we'll get to our thoughts on that in a little bit. But yeah, that's my recommendation.
No doubt, I'm gonna have to take your advice, man. It's gonna be tough, man. That Anthem, man. Dizzy, what's going on, buddy? How you doing, friend? But yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about. But we'll kind of condense it because we know Ebontis is hurting today. The cheetah is under the weather, so we'll keep the stress off.
Yeah,
of
the
him.
cheetah's over there by the fire, like
So it'll be my telepathic thoughts to the cheetah.
Yes. You guys are gonna get a fair amount of Cognito this morning, and yeah, just like you, Dizzy, I'm feeling not 100%, or at least my voice. I don't feel actually that bad. It was Wednesday when I was probably at my worst. Yesterday was okay. Feel a little better. Just the voice at this point is the last piece, but feeling okay. So it's like I'm in here with you, just in spirit mostly. It seems like
spirit, man. The cheetah's here in spirit. That's what we got. So we got a little twab action, man. We got a little twab action, so we can jump into that.
We got a candy shell coated twab yesterday, and yeah, Crimson Days have been live. That's the big thing this week.
Yes.
And I know that you didn't get a chance to play much, but you knew it was coming. You kind of know what's involved. What do you think?
Yeah, right now it's more so. When we'll get into this twab, I think they did a bad job of explaining the mechanic this year because I didn't know it. And excuse me, maybe if it was my fault that I missed it, but it's not until this twab, we'll get into it, that I understood more mechanics of the 2v2 Crucible. So I was in there, with a rando. We was getting it on. Shax was saying his sweet nothings all during the match, having fun. But I mean, look, it's Crimson Days. I actually think it's probably one of the better iterations of it, but it's just a small time event. You're tied in to Valentine's Day. You have your fun. You get your things, and at least this time they have a reward tied to it. So I do like that. I always like when these rewards are there. You know what I mean? So it's good. And then El Boogie, what's going on? Good morning, good morning. Yeah, so it's one of those things that you get in, you get out, and I just gotta get it done. But I actually like the mechanic when you go to get the confectionery hearts, you do all that stuff. But what did you think, for your limited time that you have been in it?
I mean, basically that. It is short term. I kind of wish it wasn't just a week because, I mean, they do have an exclusive reward to it. So it would be nice if they gave even just a second week. I mean, they don't have that much else going on. We now know the date, which we'll get to, of what comes next. And I mean, they're worried about overlapping with Iron Banner, I guess. But I mean, just to leave the quest out there or something like, I don't know, it would be. Some people, you never know if you're going to travel for a week, and when you put an exclusive piece out there of gear, it's like, yeah, I know it's not that big a deal, but it's literally like, it's the only solar bow from normal activities. If you don't do Last Wish, solar bow is still off the table.
Yeah, so, you're right. Yeah, absolutely right.
That's my only thing, is just give it a little longer to simmer. Either start it a week earlier, which wouldn't have done. They had nothing going on last week, absolutely nothing. So there's no reason to not start it last week, even if you do want to squeeze Iron Banner in. Give us another week to work on it. There's no reason not to. So that's my only thought was it's small, it's simple, it's all cosmetics, except the bow. And just to give people that one more, we had 3 weeks during Thunderlord over a 3-week quest. And then they gave us even longer after that before the thing was going to go away. It was there for quite a while.
Yes.
And then this one's like literally 7 days we out. Like, I mean, it's just a little too quick. It feels like, in and out, like wham, bam, and I'm out of here. So
yeah, I think what it is, to be honest, this is my thinking of this is my reasoning, I guess, trying to put myself in their head as to their thought process is just more so like, hey, let's be honest, Crimson Days was never a well-received event. So I think they're like, all right, let's just throw this out, and then marketing, it ties into the Valentine's Day week. They get that free little extra push with that. And then they're like, okay, we get out of here. And then we'll kind of gauge feedback. But maybe, I think it's just one of those things, maybe they just didn't have enough content necessarily to extend it 2 weeks, when even though the reality is they probably should have. But I'm with you. Yeah, I would love another week to just get in there and get stuff done. And it, looks like they're gonna be, once we get into the 12, they're gonna be. There's a reason why it's not a second week. We'll get into that, but yeah, that's my thought on it. Overall.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty lackluster. I mean, the tower always looks kind of cool. You got the flower petals everywhere. So did you play much of the Crimson Days actual Crucible playlist?
Yeah, I played exclusively. I literally went to the shack, saw the tower, saw the rose petals on the ground, saw got the little bounties, and I hit up the Crucible. Now again, I was just messing with that mechanic, doing stuff, and I didn't get the chance to do any of the PvE stuff, Nightfall kind of stuff, which gives you more confectionery hearts. But I did do the 2v2 Crucible, and yeah, it was fun. It was got a couple maps in, couple matches. Just got to finish that out.
Yeah. What'd you feel of the mechanic, or just how did the twos feel? Were they with people you knew, or?
It was randos.
Sorry about my dogs, by the way, guys.
Salute to Saladin's wolves. Oh yeah, the wolves are howling. Ooh, who captured the control point? Who got the control point? Did they lock it? Oh, they locked the control point.
Yeah, there's somebody outside. There could be somebody in my street, and she's like, "Oh no, that's mine."
Yo, the wolves.
By the way, my door is shut. So
damn, they're loud. That's dope. Hey man, the wolves are howling. They locked the control point, man. I love it. But yeah, now I play with a random, but the mechanic itself has been fun. You know what I'm saying? I like it. But again, I'm biased towards Crucible, so it's like I actually like the first Crimson Days with the 2v2. You know what I'm saying? It's just something different. And let's get into the 12 because I definitely want to talk about said mechanic. And then we'll get into it. But yeah, man. So we got that. And then they say love's in the air. Shaq's handing out those rewards. You see the cool tower looking. And then obviously the max power bowl as a reward. So are we gonna get into what's underneath that?
There's a slightly big deal coming. So we'll get to the Crimson Days in a little bit, but they kind of did this a little out of order for whatever reason.
Yes.
But this is the big topic of the day. Morning Scream. I'm sure you're gonna have something to say on this one. For all of you guys, we got We got some final news on Trials. So I'm going to leave this on screen. I'm going to let Cognito do the talking. So, let's see. Let's open this can of worms, Cognito. It's all yours. Man. The floor is yours.
Yes, this was definitely a talking point that I saw when I'm reviewing it. So let's get into it. So Trials, ever since Trials of the Nine went on hiatus back in season 4, many of you have been asking when it will come back and how it will be evolving. We still don't have a timetable for when it may return, but we do want to give you an update on our current thinking about Trials. Here is the team to fill you in. Destiny Dev Team. As a long-time Destiny players know, Trials of Osiris was released in May of 2015 as the original high-stakes weekend PvP event. Trials had an amazing impact on our game and our community. It was the pinnacle venue for players to show off their best skills, strategies, and gear. The 3v3 elimination mode combined with the card system created the coveted reward of earning the trip to the lighthouse. With the introduction of Trials of the Nine in Destiny 2, we made a few changes to the formula which never really hit the same mark. We were unhappy with its role in the ecosystem. The new activity wasn't achieving the goal of bringing the community together every weekend. Both Destiny and the online PvP scene have evolved since 2015, so we don't believe that bringing back the 2015 version of Trials of Osiris would accomplish what our goals are today. Until we have a solid prototype for pinnacle PvP in-game activity, Trials is staying on indefinitely, on hiatus indefinitely, and will not return over the course of the next few seasons. When we have those new plans ready, we'll be sure to share them with you. Oh boy, let me know when you're ready for me to go.
Oh man, it's all yours. You got this thing started. This is yours for the day. I'll chime in later, but you go to town, sir.
Hold on. Let me get ready, because man, this hurt. This hurt, y'all. I got to get to it. All right. First off, you know how I feel about Trials. Trials of Osiris is not only lore-wise one of the coolest things in D1, gear-wise one of the coolest things in D1, PvP mode-wise one of the coolest modes, 3v3 elimination in D1. Trials was a phenomenon. They even admitted it, right? They said released in May of 2015. This Trials had an amazing impact. That's what they say. It was pinnacle. You know, this was the height. And let's not forget, Trials during D1's launch, I believe it launched in the House of Wolves DLC. Am I right, Ebantis? I believe it was. I'm going to say
House of Wolves. Yeah,
because House of Wolves. I remember the initial reaction to House of Wolves was negative once it was found out there was no raid attached. Remember? Because everybody thought we were going to get a fallen raid back then. And we ended up getting Trials. We played it and the community went wild. The streaming community went wild. The carries, everything associated went wild. So for them to say, you know, that they didn't like the mode, they didn't feel like it was the new version, right? They're saying the new Trials of the Nine didn't achieve that, right? They're unhappy with it. I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. We all know Trials of the Nine was not a success. We all know, you know, the fourth person didn't necessarily work as well. They took away kind of the boons. They took away basically some core elements and the elimination aspect. And they initially just made it almost like a 4v4 PvP skin, to be honest, right?
Well, and it was the meta at the time too. I mean, year one D2 was, I mean, it was just bad in so many ways. I mean, you had the weapon slots that weren't feeling quite right. Everything stuck in the power weapon slot. So I mean, it wasn't even, they took that away before this meta, this whole gun, you know, slot, everything showed up. So I mean, they haven't even tried it with that.
Absolutely. But here's my major issue, and I got to rant on this. And this is what has me very upset. When they make a statement that both Destiny and the online PvP scene has evolved since 2015, so we don't believe that bringing back the 2015 version of Trials of Osiris would accomplish our goals? Are you nuts? Like that to me is tone deaf. I'm sorry, I got to go in. That was the pinnacle mode. What is wrong with bringing back 3v3 elimination? I don't understand. If your community loves it, it was proven to be a streaming success. Why are they resistant to bringing it back? I just don't get that. Why can't we have the exact iteration that we want. You know what I mean? Now, is it because you want to force the fourth player? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just struggle with that, E. And I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. I didn't say, remember, Trials, we didn't get any updates for months. I could have been going crazy. I said, I'm going to let it cook. You know, me and you had that internal bet, you know, will it come back? You know, so for full disclosure, I've already lost the bet now.
Not only like it's so far over right now.
Bro, it's so like you're getting drinks upon drinks at Guardian Con now. You know what I'm saying? But it's like not only are they saying it's on hiatus, they said it will not return over the course of few seasons, plural seasons.
Few, not a couple. We have 2 seasons left in this year. That says few. Few is more than 2, unless you're just going to be like picky about it. But a couple is 2, a few is 3, like 3 to 4.
Yeah, like
I was like, that's long
scary.
Time.
That's like we're not seeing it in D2 ever. But my thing is this: I would have been cool with that if they say, "Hey, a few seasons we're gonna get it right." But to me, it's a slap in the face of the Trials community to say that the 2015 version of Trials is not something that they see will be successful right now. I don't get that, man. I really don't understand the logic behind that. So, you know, I'm upset. I mean, shout out to Fallout Plays. You know, he had a tweet that was literally my feelings exactly, which was like, yo, I'm in my feelings. Fallout was like, hey, I'm heavily in my feelings right now. You know, that it's a near you know what that's the equivalent to me, E? That's the equivalent of saying, I know Vault of Glass was the most amazing thing we did, but we will not bring back raids until we have something that is to the current standard of what we feel raids is. Like, that's what Trials is for the PvP community, bro. And again, I'm trying to be balanced here. I really am. I'm trying not to be the just pile on Bungie kind of guy. You know, I understand development. I understand things. You know, you want to put things in the right place, but you already had the formula. You had the sauce, man. You got the sauce. Why are we going away from the sauce? All right, I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna let you jump in.
No, you're good.
It's upsetting, man. It's really upsetting to me, and I don't understand why they are so resistant to 3v3 elimination. Bring back Osiris. No one sock crazy chick. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it right, man. Let's do it. Continue. Go. Because I'm gonna talk
over here dying with the one sock crazy chick comment of yours.
Judgment. Who is this chick? We don't want her. Get her out of here. This is not a goal. You know, I understand they wanted to bring the 9 involved, and you know, I get that. You know, people were very curious about the 9, but you can't tell. You put a gun to anybody's head. What's more cooler, the 9? Or Osiris and wearing that Egyptian gear and looking like Amun-Ra and looking like King Tut in the tower. Well, let's put a poll up. I challenge Bungie to put a poll up and say Trials of the 9, lore, gear, setup versus Trials of Osiris. It's a landslide. It would be a landslide. So why do they spit in the face of the community with this decision? E, go for it, man. D, what's up, baby? What's up, King?
I mean, you got a lot of things out there and catching some of it from the chat and pieces here. So Dizzy's basically saying, I mean, do you think they're throwing they're talking about the evolution of the, you know, PvP scene in like just the overall world right now?
What evolution? I'm sorry. I gotta
go. I'm just hey, dude. Okay, bring it back to earth. We gotta have a chat now.
I'm attacking chat. What evolution, damn it? what has changed?
No, but they're talking about like Siege for like what that's like, you know, that kind of tactical level. You've got battle royales out there everywhere. It's like I don't know what they're, you know, maybe they're looking at all the options out there, seeing what fits. But you've also got to go, okay, so put yourself in D1. You had the Reef, you had Brother Vance in the Reef as your vendor. So is he going to be in the tower now?
Here's the thing, you don't need that.
He's already in the okay, but I mean,
I'm gonna give you a solution right now. I'm gonna give you a solution right now. Mercury is useless. It's the rotunda that nobody goes to.
Well, I know,
right? So let's make Mercury relevant. Let's make Mercury great again. Let's get our red hats.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? Let's put him to use. Right now, he's a clown. He's a joke character. We can still go back there. The Osiris storyline was universally, Curse of Osiris was known as a failure, right? Let's revive it, revamp it. You know what I'm saying? Oh wow, thank you, Wrath of War. Wow, thank you so much, brother, with the $10 super chat. I hope y'all having a good day. I'm playing the new Metro on PC, and it looks beautiful. Salute. You having a good day, brother? You having a good day? I'm not having a good day right now. But you having a good day, and I'm living through you. And yes, Metro looks fantastic, man. But I'm sorry, I'm just gonna finish that point. It's just that they got the assets, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what really? Unless you're telling me you're trying to catch a wave, you're trying to do battle royal. You know what I'm saying? Dizzy, oh my God, he's out of the next iteration is gonna be Trials of Benedict 99. Novan Celia, Curse of Osiris was universally revealed. Absolutely. All I'm saying is that let's regurgitate a mistake. Let's fix a mistake. And then use that so that planet on that map, on that director, now has that weight again. You know what I'm saying? That's all. And salute to Sam Refrain. He says D1 trial wasn't broke. They should just give it back to the people. I just don't understand the logic, man. Help me.
I mean, honestly, like for putting 3v3 back in, I really don't know. I mean, as you said, like Vance is there, just use him in the same way.
Yeah.
If you want to go to Mercury to get your card, it's just like going to the Reef to get your card. You have your 3v3s. Now, my curiosity is you've got the guns now are getting closer back to where they were in D1. It's probably the best they've been for meta and the way things feel. On the other side, you've got how do the maps feel in D2 compared to D1? You have a couple carries over. You have the one on Mercury itself, which is, you know, pretty much just a reskin. But outside of that one that I know was one of the trials maps, how do you think some of these maps would play in D2 in this whole 3v3 elimination? I'm just curious, like you're the Crucible guy.
Yeah, no, listen, you're accurate. As the maps currently stand, right? They're suited for 4v4 for that 4v4 meta, which they initially launched D2 with. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. All you got to do is make trials specific maps, right? You already have the lighthouse map that they brought back, right? I mean, not the lighthouse, but I forgot the name of it. Was it Burning Shrine? Is that what it's called?
I think it used to be. I forget the new name, but yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
You know, they've already got that. That could set it off as the first map for the week, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, right? So if the maps are too big, I'm with you. You've got all this time. You've got tons of old assets, and we know Bungie is the king of reusing old assets, right? That you can bring back and just say, boom, put a nice little coat of paint on it. They were already meant for 3v3 elimination. And there you go. You don't even really have to make any really new maps. So again, I'm not really trying to hear that excuse that they're saying, which is the PvP scene has evolved. Unless when I see that, that just means to me that you're trying to catch a wave. And then I'm getting nervous. Because that means you're seeing either Battle Royal or you're seeing something else that you think, or like you said, Rainbow Six Siege. Well, like, I don't know what it is that you see that you're going to go away from your own moneymaker. That's not smart business. The Trials of Osiris is what made you who you are. And let's keep it 100 PvE fans, and no disrespect to you, E. But when D1 was on its deathbed and that content dropped before Taken King, guess what was keeping Destiny alive? People were paying people to go to the lighthouse. That's how real. I know people. I'm not going to disclose their business, but I know certain people in my clan or other clans that they were so desperate to go to the lighthouse once they found resources.
I mean, you're not wrong. It was a common thing for people doing carries. I mean, there were people you knew that was like literally their job on the weekend.
Yeah, man. It's sad. This saddens me, man. This really hurt me to my core, bro. I was just like, I'm willing to give up. I'm willing to concede they don't want to do Osiris. I'm willing to concede they'll keep Trials of the Nine. I was even willing to concede a little with the PvP 4v4 elimination, right? But to sit there and not even bring the mode back, and then you talking all this indefinite hiatus, You know, that tells me D3. To me, that means we ain't getting this. This is not, they are not about that at all. That's what it seems. That means they're struggling with this. They're
I
struggling.
mean, we're in a new world of Bungie at this point. They don't have Activision at their back.
Absolutely.
They don't have that in a good and a bad way, sadly, which could be one of those times where they're like, we have potentially D3 that we're looking at, figuring out when we're going to launch. We have a decision to make about what September will hold, if anything, and changing like what Destiny's been for the past 5-6 years to see what are we going to launch? Where do we put our priorities? Are we putting it back into this mode? Now, again, I don't know what the development cycle would be like to put Elimination back in. Does it feel like it would be that much? No. But what do I know? You've got all that stuff out there, and I mean, as you and I talked off, like we've got, over the course of the next few seasons, this line right here says a lot over what is to come. Like, is September going to be just another annual pass of some smaller stuff while the live team kind of keeps us afloat and going, give you some time to cycle on a couple of these other games? Is it going to be popular? Whatever that's going to wait for. And then maybe it's 2020 with new consoles and D3 and this giant new launch of something Bungie wants to make. Is that the time when everything comes back in full swing?
I mean, the only thing, like I said, when I hear that kind of stuff, yes, they don't have Activision, behind them right now, and I get that. And it also, I think me and you've had this discussion offline, which is, we may see different cadence now. We are so conditioned. I think you were the first to bring this. We are so conditioned to that September Destiny release. But let's just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to King. He put out Deal Before God sold his soul to pay for the lighthouse. Oh my God, the chat is hilarious right now. He literally called someone out that was in the clan that paid for the lighthouse. That's kind of cool. But but like, I think you may be onto something, E. I think the days of us being conditioned to the traditional release cycle may have been purely an Activision thing, right? So Activision may say, hey, September, this is when it comes out, right? And now that they don't have the noose from around their neck, once the season of the Redacted is done, they may just say, when they say few seasons, it's not going to return. They may say to themselves, we're just going to take our time. We're going to drop when we're going to drop. And then maybe one more one. And it may not be in September. And we'll get one more piece of content. Maybe it's at the top of the year. Who knows? Maybe, the top of 2020. And then they prep themselves for D3. But it just may. This is scary stuff, man. To me, this is scary stuff. I don't know. I don't know, man. I really wish I had an answer. It's just very confusing. I'm glad that they got in front of it. I will say that. I'm glad that a statement was made because, my blood was boiling every twab. Why are we not talking about it? What's going on? We would look at the development map, right? Yep. And we would look at every bullet point for every season of the Drifter, of the Redacted, and we'd look for anything that would say trials or new PvP activity, hoping it would be trials, and that wasn't there. So for them to finally get a hold of it and say, "Hey, not happening," this is what you think, man? I mean, I don't know. This is very concerning to me.
I mean, Fred said it in chat. It's like pushing out a new game right now just doesn't feel like the right move. That's what I'm thinking. Like annual pass for the next year, maintain D2 with what they've got, seeing what they can kind of evolve their formula with everything they've got. I mean, people burned out the beginning of Destiny, and they got burned. Destiny 2 year 1 did the same thing, like burned a lot of people. It's like D3. How many times can you launch and mess it up?
Absolutely.
And that's kind of one. Sorry.
I guess the key thing, it just feels to me that they feel 3v3 elimination is whack. like they feel like it's taboo to do that. I don't
know. I mean, that one, I don't know. It's like, it's a different mode. And that's probably one thing more people, I feel like we had so many different modes in D1 where it was, I mean, you had Rumble, you had Elimination, you had, Rift and Supremacy and like all those little like buttons in the Crucible. And I feel like now we just have modifications of like control and clash, and that's like really all we've got for PvP. So I don't know if they wanted to try things, couldn't put them in, can't find the right feel. They got stuck in this 4v4 and they don't have these options now because the way the game might be designed. I know they can do twos. Whether it's the balances, I mean, somebody was like, yeah, it's like if nothing else, you've got things like, oh, I don't know, Blade Barrage that are just going to break the whole world. I mean, so supers are different, things are there. It's like, what is so the way the whole systems are made down? Maybe they have tried these threes and maybe it just doesn't feel the same. I mean, that's speculation and who knows. It's like, would all of us like to see it? And this is one, it's like, couldn't you do like Crucible Labs would be perfect to try this crap out?
Just read my mind. You just read my mind. Like
yeah, that would be your perfect place to be like, you guys want this? We're gonna go Crucible. We're gonna do threes for elimination, just with the maps. Because and you could. I mean, this is one of those points where I feel like we wish we could talk to the Destiny Crucible team or whoever's in charge of this and be like, hey, we're thinking about doing this, and everybody in the world will be like, please just put it in and let us try it. If we hate it, we'll tell you. If it doesn't feel right, you're gonna know it. But if it does work, then why not let us see?
That's my point. Why don't you trust your community? This is, to me, this is a lack of trust. They are trying to do something too fly, too ambitious. You don't need to do anything ambitious. You know what I mean? Shout out to Diddy. He says they brought in the PvP mode. That was terrible. What was that PvP? What was it? Breakdown? What was the name of that one?
Breakthrough or something like that. Breakthrough. Yeah.
At least they tried it. You know what I'm saying? They tried. You know, hey, what's up, Punch? You know, it's one of those things that you know, you've got all these great streamers and resources. You got a guy like a Fallout Plays. You got a guy like an Asta Cross, right? You've got a community that you could fly in the same way you treated the PvE content, the raid, and all that. You could fly these guys in, the top trials guys, have them go in there, put that thing through the paces. And you may be right. It may be part of it, may be the map size. I'm willing to concede that. But you mean to tell me that you can't just use specific maps, you know, smaller maps, or create them to gauge it? It just, I don't know, man. It just seems like they just gave up on it so fast. This is very strange to me. I would love to have the opportunity to sit in front of the Sandbox team and really pick their brains. And really, I would love the thought process to why they feel that the PvP scene has evolved past 3v3 elimination. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Med's your fool. Shut up, Med. Oh my God, he's in the chat acting crazy. But yeah, man, it's just, this is this is a tough one. This was a blow. This the type of stuff that I'm like, y'all keep this up. Y'all better be careful with me right now, Bungie. I'm very upset. I'm in my feelings.
It's just an interesting time because
and new games are out, Bungie.
Oh, I was like, yeah, we're getting to that next, but it's a time that they have tools like Crucible Labs. You have a community that's like is going to give you all the feedback you need. I mean, if you put it out and be like, hey, we want to try this. You guys have been requesting it. We have Crucible Labs. It's not going to affect that much. But if you guys want to see how this thing feels now, since at least the weapons are there, and I wish they would just say that and just be like, we're going to try this. It's like, we have a lot of feedback from you saying you want to see it. And maybe after this post, this is something they would see. Right. But I was like, man, if they could just use Crucible Labs for like the one thing that everybody is dying for, just to, if nothing else, let all of us see that, yeah, it doesn't have that magic back. And then at least we would know as well, like something happened, like D1 to D2, whether all the changes there, the time to kills, the supers, the stats, the builds, all of those things. I mean, you don't even have Sun Singers self-resing anymore, which was, that was a thing. I mean, that whole self-res like gave trials like was it gonna res? I gotta watch this dead body. Is it gonna res? Like,
oh, so fun.
I mean, those were the times of like, if you're going to do that, you had to watch that orb and you had to sit there and, man, if they self-res, they could mess you up fast. So it was.
I'm going to say one point and I'm going to crush their whole little nonsense narrative that they're running with. You know how I know this is still BS and I'm worried now? Because remember D2 vanilla, right? We're going through the launch. It was bad, right? It was PvP was bad. Everybody was running away. It was the old weapon system, right? Everybody was like, this is terrible. We don't like PvP no more. Remember that, right? And then there was one flashpoint we did back then. We were Flashpoint, right?
Yep.
And it was a twab we did, and I'll never forget it, And they said, for 1 week only, we're bringing back Mayhem. And if you remember that week, how much fun the community had in that with the busted meta, with the primary weapons. Do you remember? We were like, oh my God, PvP feels great right now. I can play Mayhem all day. It's the same thing with Trials. Like they literally forced it and gave it to us as a sample for 1 week and say, go ahead, just see what it is. Give us it for 1 week, and I swear the community will go crazy. They'll go crazy. I mean, whoo, breathe. Woosa, breathe.
Yeah, we got him worked up over there. Gotta give him a glass of cold water.
Yeah, man, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. They've done this before. They brought a mode back in a terrible meta, and the community loved it. Bring Trials back in this meta. Let us decide whether or not it's evolved since 2015. Don't take away our love, man. The PvP guys, we need this, bro. We need this. That's the only thing. Everything else you guys have been doing has been fantastic. Forsaken, fantastic. You know what I'm saying? You got your creative freedom now. Just give us this, Bungie. Give us this, man. We really, the PvP guys are dying. We don't have end game content. Every other mode has, and even people, there's a stronger Gambit community right now. Gambit is lit. Gambit's about to get its own DLC.
Pretty much. Yeah.
We dying out here. We got no true meaning of war. We got, competitive. The only thing you gave us was really, the Luna's Howl and competitive scene. I respect that, but who's really going in there playing Glory like that? It's just, it's sad.
I can't get myself to do it. I can't. I was like, and that's part of the problem with that is the fact that I know half the people on the list have the damn gun, so I'm at a disadvantage anyway.
Yeah. But I'm done. Yeah, Siegfried, I do need a cold shower, a stressful aura. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry about it. It's a sad day for me. I'm the PvP guy, and I'm dying inside.
No, you're not wrong. That's one of those for a lot of people out there who were either people who, a lot of it was just people who enjoyed watching Trials, like the Twitch community and stuff like that, for the things that would happen, the skilled plays that people would do. I mean, but you've also got now snipes are getting better as well. I've seen more people doing that. So I mean, it's getting to a point where it's a thing. But I mean, snipes were a huge thing in Trials for just all of those pieces. And it's like, with so many changes they made in D2, I feel like, I mean, people like Cosmo, people like Dylan, those guys were playing before they were playing Trials before they worked at Bungie.
All I'm going to say is this, and I'll end my rant. I will never forget walking into the tower and you walk past a Guardian and he had that full Egyptian guard. He had the Doctrine of Passing on his back. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, yo, you hit that inspect button. You're like, what is that? And then remember when in Destiny was by season 3 or whatever it was, the end, and they had the glowing ornaments, remember?
Yeah.
And you was looking like a pharaoh. You were looking like God in the top. That made me aspire. I never stood foot in competitive PvP in D1. I stayed away until that. I said, yo, what is that? Oh, I got that from Trials. What's Trials? I got to get over there. And every week it was like religion, man. And then the cool thing that they did was they added that system that for the people who weren't the tryhards, for the people who couldn't get to the lighthouse, you had your bounty that just play the mode, right? Get wins, get whatever, you had your boon, and you can still come off with some non-adapt gear and some non-adapt. It was so cool, man. It was the coolest thing. I'll never forget. And when you got that sense of accomplishment, when you hit the lighthouse, bro, let me tell you, I still have on my Xbox DVR, my only lighthouse run. That's how emotional people were when they finally did it. It was crazy. You couldn't tell me that Egyptian thing was something special, man. Woo! My man E bringing the feels back. There we oh, look at that Warlock, man.
You got all these options. So you got these were the big 3.
Oh, you always hit me in the feels big time. Leave that on the screen for a little bit more. Oh, you hit
But
me
I
in
mean,
the feels.
that was a crazy set of armor. It looked cool. You had the Egyptian god, you got Anubis over there, like the sun right here for the hunter. They were all just they were cool. You had Doctrine of Passing, had its like place of being, and that's honestly like that magic.
Mm.
I don't know if D2 can do it. And like it's one of the I mean, what do you it's a hard thing in their world. I mean, they're not deaf. Obviously, they're putting this post out there. They're listening. They had to have tried variations of this to see how it feels, how it goes. And they know something that it feels like trash, or just the card system doesn't have quite the same luster. I don't know what it is, but they know things that we don't. And
No way, it was the pinnacle. We have the statistics to prove. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying it wouldn't be popular. I'm saying it may not be the same thing that you remember from D1 if they try and put it in D2, whether it's the size of the maps, whether it's the supers, whether it's the builds, whether it's the stats, whether it is all those things together.
I'm not buying it. Mayhem proved that. You bring the mold back and it's in intact state, it can still be fun.
Oh, Mayhem is so broken right now. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. It's
fun.
Mayhem.
No, it's not.
Mayhem not fun?
Not since Blade Barrage was introduced is Mayhem fun.
Well, you tweak Blade Barrage. I mean, that's one thing, one super. You know what I'm saying? But
that's one, but yeah, like they haven't touched it yet, have they?
Yeah, I got you on tape. I can pull up the records.
I'm just saying, like, if I would go into Mayhem, I would have a lot of fun either throwing hammers or other things like that. Blade Barrage, and it seems like if anybody's going to run Mayhem, yeah, there are other things in there, and it's fun when you don't. But if you run into a team of like 3 or 4 Blade Barrages, especially if they have Shades of Galanor, I told you I had that dude kill me 3 times in a row, and it's just like, what the hell? Like, there are moments like that don't feel right. So.
King with this $2 super chat. Oh my god, battle royal. No battle royal, damn it. No.
You know, I think that would be interesting, though. Not saying I want that instead of trials. I just think a bigger group. I think that's one thing either. King's been saying it and all that stuff. It's just I would like to actually see like a bigger group. Like we've had 6s and stuff, but I mean like 12s or I don't know, just a bigger smash together of Destiny PvP would be hilarious between and just I don't know. Maps with the size of like First Light or Skywatch or things like that were so much bigger with vehicles. All that stuff going on in D2, I think would be crazy.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, again, not buying their whole thing, but you know, we'll see what the plan is. But yeah, you keep this up. There's other games.
Yeah, I mean, there's other stuff coming, and that's a decision that maybe they do this and they know these big things are going to launching, and at some point, every game does dwindle off a little bit. And then do they wait till this stuff dwindles? And it's like, you know, if Anthem comes out now, Division 2 comes out now, all this stuff is going to be coming. Those are going to have some cycle. And then when those are finally towards the end of their first year, they kind of tapering off. They're really not an issue. They come back as the big looter shooter in 2020, brand new consoles, brand new Destiny. I mean, and that might be, whether they save it for that or not, that might be where they have their focus right now. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see, man. But that's all I got. Rant over. You guys.
That's it. Nothing else. You sure you're good?
Don't let me go. I'll go again. You know how I get with Osiris. So. No, but all jokes. Thank you guys for laughing at my pain. I was very emotional. I knew this topic would bring it out of me. But what else we got, man? They got ironing boards. So
yeah, we got Iron Banner coming back next week, which I guess is the other reason why Crimson Days is just a week long. Looks like we got a grenade launcher, and I don't know if that's a scout rifle. The sniper rifle I know is longer. Is that the scout or the pulse? I really don't know.
Looks like the pulse. I believe that is Claws of the Wolf.
If that is, that's a good gun. You can get some good rolls on there. So grenade launcher, don't really care. Don't really love too many grenade launchers, but yeah, that Claws of the Wolf actually can have some pretty good rolls. I still need my blast furnace though. Like this week, I should be grinding it out, but I'm about to change games that I'm going to play here in about 8 minutes. But yeah, Iron Banner. This is the final one for Season of the Forge. So if you're looking for armor pieces, if you're looking for anything else, starts next week, and it will be a week long, and then that seems like it's going to be our downtime, which we'll get to. We do have quite So here's your Crimson Days. You wanted to talk about that. So here's your Crimson Days mechanics. So this is out of order, guys. I know we're jumping back to Crimson. But if you want to talk about the mechanic of Crimson Days, what do you think? I mean, this is your time to jump in. I know we got it out of order, but we're here.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I didn't know. First of all, shout out to the chat. They're saying that my sound's a little off. Just let me know if it's still the same way. I don't.
It's like you seem mostly okay, at least in my ears.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because hey, my chat also let me know how my sound is. Just want to make sure everything's good with that. But yeah, while I'm talking, yeah, it says that I didn't know about these mechanics where, obviously the player count, and then we have, players jumping solo if they choose. We know about that. But then they break down Reunited, that buff, which is a special buff that increases the recharge rate of Guardian abilities for teammates who stick close together. And then they have one that says Falling Apart. Falling Apart is a debuff that grants enemy teammates waypoints to your locations when you and your teammate drift too far apart. And I have sound that, you know what I'm saying? Oh, shout out. But Dizzy in the chat, he said my mic sounds fine. He's just that I'm all in my feelings. Thank you, Dizzy.
That's definitely true. Yeah, you're so up all in your feelings, the mic can't take it.
That's very true. Very true. So that falling apart mechanic, I did notice that because we were playing. I was with a rando, and Ken, good to see you, brother. I love you too, man. Good stuff. We'll see you Sunday in the Lord's Day. You already know. Yeah, so pretty much I remember seeing that where I was playing against the opposing team and they tried to separate real far and the map kind of snitched their locations out. And I'm like, oh, I never seen that before in Crimson.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, and then the last one, Vengeance. Vengeance is triggered when a player's teammate is defeated in combat. For a short time, the surviving player is going to significantly increase ability regeneration and receives a small portion of their health back. So I just felt it would have been cool for them to kind of say this before last 12, because I never really understood those mechanics. And I actually thought those are pretty cool. Like they're really encouraging you to stay close. I remember they had similar stuff, but I don't remember in past Crimson Days. I just don't remember it being this detailed. And they definitely didn't have the one that says Falling Apart, where it shows you waypoints. I definitely don't remember that from past Crimson.
I feel like I actually do.
Really? I don't remember. Yeah. Interesting. Did they have a visual representation on the radar? Like
I don't know if it was the radar or the waypoint or something, but I feel like if you got split up, it was like really noticeable if you did. So, but yeah, I mean the 2v2 kind of has its own feel. I mean, you'll see a whole like if you playing with one warlock, you got that little like rift. Can't tell you like the few games that actually did play how many people were just chilling out in a rift together. Like if they were like down around or something, they just sitting there waiting like, come here. We're sitting on a rift. What are you gonna do? Like, I mean, I actually saw that quite a bit. Like, yes, were kind of a huge because you're supposed to stay together. Stay together anyway. You may as well be harder to kill.
So they were cuddling up in the rift.
Yeah, it's they were very snuggly. But yeah, it was like I don't know. I played with my brother and like whether my skill-based matchmaking, I'm like somewhere in like I'm in the okay range. My brother says he's not great in PvP, and then he jumps in with me, and we usually seem to do okay. So I don't think he gives himself enough credit, but we did okay. We had some fun. If we like stepped up on the heavy ammo and got that one, I could get like 3 or 4 of them. With good old Thunderlord putting in some work. But yeah, that Falling Apart as soon as they split, like they would be trying to flank, but man, it makes flanking nearly impossible because you're like, I know exactly where you're at. So it really kind of changes the feels to it. So I don't know. I mean, it was okay. It was kind of fun doing twos just with my brother for a little bit.
Shout out to Stone.
Yep. Shout out to Stone Wolf. But all in all, I mean, it's okay. I wish they would do more stuff like this though, where you have like the reunited buff or things like that. Just random things like that they could throw. They have all these, as we've said before, Crucible Labs is very underutilized. This is just a test of like, if you're in proximity with Guardians, you get, a buff, or, if you go be a lone wolf or something, maybe you go invisible. Like if you're far enough away from your team, you actually drop off the radar, so you could flank for a change. I don't know. It'd be interesting for them to mess with mechanics, and I feel like they never like really step outside of their box much, and just it'd be nice to see them do that a lot more.
No,
that's just me. So.
No, I agree. It would be cool for them to do a little bit more of that stuff, but
I mean, they could step out of their box into 3v3s and see how that goes. I don't know. It's one of those things that could happen.
No,
you're like, really?
It's hilarious right now. Everything's hilarious right now. Yeah, man, we got that. We got Banner. Pretty much cool little Iron Banner week coming right back around. For the short little
I
crimson.
feel like that was maybe a week or two off, and then we're right back to it again.
Yeah, right back to it, man.
I don't know. Do you care about Iron Banner anymore?
Remember, I'm a PvP guy. So again, you see how you just said that? And again, to bring it back to trials, I have nothing. So this is everything. That's how
you're like PvP. Yes. Woo.
Hold on, as the cops go by.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're about to call the police on Bungie for getting rid of trials.
Oh my God.
But the thing is, now all jokes aside, like the thing is, as a PvP, I won't say main, but as one of my favorite modes, you do kind of get excited for Banner because it's like you don't really have any, differential mode. So
but I mean, it is just control. You can get that in quick play, and it's the capture. I know the capture mechanic is different, but that's literally all you get. Like, I mean, besides the fact that like you're 650, you're max level, the bounties really don't do you much. It's like, yeah, you'll get a few rolls in here. I mean, the armor does actually look kind of cool. I will give you that.
Tell you why, as a hardcore PvP guy, why you like it. You like it because the control point mechanic is different. When that what's the terminology when it's locked is a term that they use.
Yeah, I can't remember the three.
It's really fun, man, because what happens is, you can dominate, you can push people off, you can do comebacks. So you got that aspect. And then for gear wise, at least I can speak for the Warlocks, that the Iron Banner gear tends to run high resilience. So you can spec certain builds, certain things. They come with cool little rolls. The weapons this year haven't been that great, but this week I would play because I like Claws of the Wolf. It's a great gun. It's just not stable. So if you get some little stability rolls or throw some mods on it, it's a very good pulse in the energy slot. Because most of the dominant pulses right now in the current meta are like, obviously your favorite, you go figure, the one you can't leave home without, and
yeah.
You got your bygones and so on and so forth, your chattering bones. But if you really look at it, the energy slot doesn't have a lot of strong pulses. So this is cool. I would play for that. I'd play for my little thing, and then get in, get out, get your bounties. You don't need the power level per se, but as a PvP guy, we're starving, man. This is the kind of stuff we look forward to. I hate to break it to you.
No, I mean, that's just, I was honestly surely asking because for me, it's like, yeah, it's like, I mean, but it's not anything that much of a departure from what we're used to. So it just doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. I mean, the bounties don't serve me too much. I mean, my Hunter, I could probably use some of those, honestly, if I do play. But I mean, with other games out there and stuff like that we got coming up, you really going to go jump back into Iron Banner next week?
That's the point you make. That is valid. And because of no trials and nothing different, these are the kind of things during the downtime that would push me now to, okay, Anthem's out. Okay, Division 2 beta is out. Hey, Apex Legends and all this other hot stuff is out. So it's just like, it is what it is, and that's why I'm so sad, because I know the reality of no trials. And as much as people who don't play it, what happens is investment and engagement goes away, and you really lose your community. And if these other two games, which we're about to talk about it, really go strong, I just don't want this community to fall off. That's literally what I want. So we'll see. They've got time, to try to fix it and do it.
You help this community falling apart.
That's what's gonna happen. I'm telling you.
You want to make sure we're reunited?
We got to be reunited, man.
Or you're gonna come back with a vengeance?
Oh, you're terrible right now.
I'm just using all the words on screen right now.
You're literally on that note, I think we should move on.
Cheese factor is on the ultimate high right now, blowing past that.
You were definitely cheesing right now. L Boogie, what do you mean, is it though? What do you mean? Explain, L Boogie. Explain. Community will go. It's my opinion. It's just my opinion. PvP is a backbone. But that's all I got. What do you got?
Yeah. We got some issues that will be fixed at the start of Season of the Drifter, which is good. The Black Armory key mold for one player is getting fixed. Dreaming City chests, Obsidian Accelerator. and just quite a few fixes that people have been waiting on. To my knowledge, a lot of them are going to get resolved. They don't have a list of things that are unresolved, so this is good as well. We'll have to see what comes when the patch notes are full, and we finally know the date after we get past the videos. Yeah, see, like, I do solo flawless Shattered Throne, and somebody does solo flawless no HUD Shattered Throne. So, of course, there's a way to make me look bad. But the final piece dropped the big knowledge of the week. So news about Destiny is random and light this week. Winter visited in the Pacific Northwest and blanketed all its splendor with an immovable object, a buttload of snow. Bungie has been out of work. They've been doing stuff from home. We don't tend to maintain the irresistible force of a fleet of plow. We don't tend to maintain the irresistible force of a fleet of plow trucks for the 1 week out of the year that looks like this. So early in the week, we hunkered down with our laptops and waited for the whole thing to blow over. That doesn't mean that our progress has been interrupted. We've been working from our homes to prepare for next season, and we are back in the office now as the white fluffy powder devolves into a brownish mush, which is true. If you've been around snow, it goes from white to garbage really quick. Season of the Drifter will arrive on March 5th with some exciting evolutions for your Guardian lifestyle. That's a sentence to deconstruct here in a second. We'll begin that conversation soon. Between now and then, you'll have a few weeks to reap all the rewards from Season of the Forge. Have you got the new bow? Hope so, because you only have like 3 days to get it. See, why can't they just leave that thing out there?
Yeah.
I got mine. Having a great time in Crimson Doubles. They did their little Bungie bounty and stuff like that. Season of the Drifter. We have our official date of March 5th. What do you think? Well, I mean, we basically called it. So
yeah, we basically called it. I mean, you know, it's one of. Hold on one second. I hate to keep talking trials with El Boogie. I can't type fast enough, and I have to address her comment. Basically, she's saying that you know, Destiny's in hibernation mode. Because they have no direction right now. They've had a major breakup, and now they have to figure out what they want to do. And oh, by the way, they have less manpower and resources. All of that is true, Elboy. What I am saying, that's not my point. My point is the terminology they use in this TWAB is that the mode itself is not something that is appealing to them to bring back. I have a problem with that. You can tell me, hey, we don't have enough time. We want to get it in the right place. We don't have manpower. But they literally are attacking the mode as if it's not hot and they want to do something else. And that I got a major problem with because of the fact that that was their key mode that had the most engagement that everybody loves and the whole community wants. So why smack your community in the face by saying you're not going to bring that mode back? Like, I mean, just that specific variation. I can understand and say, hey, we're going to cook it. We're going to make it better. Fine. But to attack 3v3 elimination, nah, I'm not with that. That to me is something else. Back to your point with March 5th. We predicted it. You know, with the Drifter, we'll see. We'll see. You know, we got to see how this thing is going to play out. I am curious about the lore. You know what I'm saying? Like how this is going to play. I'm curious about Thorn. You know what I'm saying? Like what's going to happen with that and maybe even Rose. You know, obviously Drifter wasn't too happy after the last word quest or whatever. So, you know, we'll see. I'm curious. March 5th is interesting. It'll be Anthem will be already out. Before about what is it 1 week 2 weeks about 2 weeks before Division 2.
Yeah, Division's a month from today,
right? So. It's 20 something. So you know, we get in, we get out, you know, we see what's up. I'm curious. I'm gonna give it a shot. You know, I'm gonna keep expectations low.
It was just their phrasing is interesting. They said new evolutions to your Guardian lifestyle. Like that's it's a weird term.
Yeah,
personally, just because it says right here, evolutions for your Guardian lifestyle. I don't know what that means because you've got Gambit, private matches, and new maps. You're like, okay, that's not really changing anything crazy. Power increase, fine. Vanity, new rewards, Iron Banner, lore. There's an exotic quest for everyone. There's an exotic quest for the annual pass people. So at least that both people get one this time. Spring event, which we haven't had a spring event before, so I'm not sure what that's going to be. Then we got your Joker's Wild Weapons and Gear, the new Gambit experience, Xur bounties, by the way. Cannot forget Xur bounties. Those are actually going to be a thing. I don't know if they're going to matter, but the fact that they're a thing, I'm kind of happy about.
Yeah, just the fact that they exist.
Now, they finally are like, oh yeah, Xur, that dude up in the tree, like, give him something to do. You've got Joker's Wild, which is a weekly quest. I don't know what that one's going to do. Some evolution, kind of like 801 with her, like, weekly weekly powerful frames, I guess would be my assumption. But yeah, there's no raid, no new 6-player match made activity. There's no, they say Joker's wild weapons and gear, but I mean, I don't expect a ton. We haven't had a huge dump of like new guns, new year 1 editions, anything like that. We had literally just like reskinned basics, and then we had the powerful frames. We didn't get that much.
We didn't get any new exotic armor in Siege of the Forge.
That's true.
Yeah,
we didn't get any. You're right. I didn't even think about that.
We
had 5 weapons, which were basically all Forge related, and no armor. Man, they do not like their exotic armor, do they? They don't want to they don't want to make it masterworked. They don't want to let us get orbs. They don't want to let us get extra stats. I don't know what is up. Like, masterwork armor is something that we've probably hoped for a long time and can't touch it.
Again, and this is the time to be listening to your community, especially when the competition is coming and they look good, and it could take time away and engagement away from your game. Do what your community wants you to do. That's what hey, I'm being nice though. They're in transition. I'm being nice.
Well, yeah, that's what we get to expect on March 5th. So we know our date. We have no trials. Apparently, I get a beverage. So
yes, first round on you.
First round's on you. All right. But all that being said, let me go back to where I was. Sure. There are other things to discuss. Yeah. Shockingly, we had Anthem's little conviction teaser come out.
Woo!
So, did you watch it?
Yes, I did. Man, oh man. What's our guy's name? What's our guy?
Neil Blomkamp.
Oh man, wow. Let me tell you something, man. For those who have watched it, if this is the level of storytelling that I'm going to be getting, if this is the narrative feel, if this is the tone, oh boy, Anthem's coming. Oh boy, what did you think when you saw it?
I was trying to figure out what was going on, and then I saw some stuff come out from Neil himself, basically just kind of explaining. It felt like a trailer for a bigger movie, which is what I wanted. I want the whole hour and a half of whatever this is from, but it sounded like they shot like 20 minutes, and then like there's a big script. We can't do all that. Then they had to cut stuff down, so they actually had. Apparently, he had a lot more that he wanted to do, but they couldn't make his full vision with the budget they had. So he still ended up shooting like 10 minutes of stuff to like, edit it down to like 3 minutes so they could use a lot. So it was like a 10-page script, even just for a little trailer they made. It was really cool. I just want to see like the 20, 30 minute, like cinematic, amazing. Like maybe Anthem comes out, makes him some, I don't know, but I would love to see more of this. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, if you guys have not seen it, definitely check it out. It was like Oat Studios, which is Neil Blomkamp's thing. But yeah, if you just look up Anthem Conviction, you'll find it. It's like 3 minutes long, nothing crazy. It doesn't like give anything away or whatever, but just like the feel of it. Oh, I'd love to see a full, 20, 30 or full movie of this. I'd take 90 minutes. I'd take a full Bife level video. Come on. Give Bife like the budget. Yeah, it's like let Neil Blomkamp handle Anthem, find a director for Bife to work with on this level of production. Oh, dude. I mean, the artist like crushed it on his lore video, but still, it'd be crazy. But yeah, Anthem is literally live right now, by the way, guys. So as we're recording this, Anthem is up, servers are going. I'm literally checking with my brother. He jumped out of my Discord. He's in another Discord. So he's getting ready to play literally right now. So
loyal brother Stone. Shout out to him.
No. I mean, he's just waiting for me to get done. I know he'll play with me. So
I messed with. I gotta tease him.
But yeah, like Anthem's live today. So I mean, for when we're talking about other games coming, different things to do and stuff like that, this is one of 2 big ones. Now, everybody has different opinions about this. I was literally about to I was about to hack my way into your podcast last weekend.
Oh yeah, you were chopping bit.
Oh my God. I don't know if King's still out there right now or Addict or whatever, but yeah, I was like, trust me, there would have been some words for me. And I'm not saying all the stuff they said wasn't justified, but it's like you're forgetting about the way all the other games that we do already play or that you're referencing, the way they work as well. So there are certain things, yes. Do I agree with all of them? No. But there are other ones you're just like choosing to rag on it so hard. I was like, come on. So
I get it.
But again, if you don't find it fun, you're not going to find it fun. I'm not going to force you to.
They extra hard. And at the end of the day, I think, this thing has a great foundation. And there's still so much stuff we don't know for me to just disparage it. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I had a lot of fun. On PC, I had a lot of fun. So, this thing looked phenomenal. It felt good. It played good. It's very ability based, which I had to learn. And yeah, man, I'm actually ready for the campaign. I want to know about this narrative. I want to know why we're doing this. The freelancers, the javelins. I want to see, the antagonist. I want to see all that, man. So I'm excited. It's finally here. Origin Premier Access. Will we even talk about how the convoluted mess that was? But it is here.
Yeah, I mean, there was, so full disclosure on Origin, the launcher on PC, at least for those of you who had the Origin Premier Access, there was a date floating around that it was going to be available for, at least me in like Central Time, you would be an hour forward. It's going to be like 4:30 p.m. on Thursday, on yesterday. But forever they had been saying March 15th, or February 15th, February 15th. So everybody's like, are we actually getting it early? Is it February 15th? Because it's like, we're halfway around the world. But I mean, they've been doing all this stuff from Canada and stuff. So I mean, I was kind of getting my hopes up a little, but I mean, some people were saying, hey, it's going live. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, it's really actually tomorrow. So there was a bad miscommunication between Origin and BioWare for the actual live date. Somebody didn't check the copy of the script that was going out. And it should have definitely been checked, but I was like, you'll be fine. Sleep. Actually, it probably, if nothing else, people were like, oh, I'm totally ready. Because it was going to be like Thursday night or it's done Friday. You probably didn't take off your days any different. It's not like it was going to be Thursday morning. So
yeah, but
it was literally like 12, 16 hours. I never said it was like, actually, I'm not saying it shouldn't have been checked. I'm just saying
of their own game like that's a little weird to me. I can't let that slide. Like, let's
see, but this is like the point where you wonder, like, how far is BioWare trying to stay away from EA? Like, if they're this far apart and there's that much of a disconnect, I have hope that BioWare is putting their morals and stuff behind this game, not EA's that everybody seems to hate, which for me is hopefully going to give them, better hope of handling this well. And just like their transparency and everything has been great. So the miscommunication between those two, if that just means they don't work with EA as much as like everybody thinks they are, I'm okay with that. I'll just read in and say, hey, that might be a good thing because BioWare is trying to do it their way. So
and you actually predicted, I mean, not predicted, but you literally said what my point was. That we were on the same page with it, which is it just shows that there could be a disconnect there between, like you said, EA and BioWare, because BioWare themselves have been ultimately transparent. If you follow them, you get a ton of information. I get that. It's just funny that EA didn't know what was going on.
That's weird. Like, I mean, they even said it. They're like, when's it going live? They're like, it just in the stream. I was watching, it was either Wednesday nights or Thursday stream or something. When I finally got to the stream, they're like, it's going to be February 15th, Central Time, 9 a.m. And I was like, all right. And then, like, I checked and things had been updated at that point, I think, or they did it probably pretty quick. But either way, it was just like, yeah, they probably all should have been on the same page in some way, somehow. Like, all the stuff is they put, like, Ben Irving, the guy, posts on Reddit, and one of those images of like the time it launches was out there on Reddit. So you're going, guys. So, I mean, all of those things, but yeah, it is. Sorry, I may not have said that right, but it is on PC. It is live if you have Origin Premier Access. So that's the early access. If you have Origin, or what is it, EA Access on Xbox, you get 10 hours.
10 hours, yeah. Yep. So both those communities can actually get your touch on.
That would be worse, honestly. I mean, I'm glad I'm on PC, but I don't even know if I could do 10 hours and then stop for a week. It's like, oh, I got this new drug and then cut cold turkey for like 6 days. You'd probably put 10 hours on the first day and be like, well.
But I believe EA Access, how it works is you still get the option to have it early because you do the 10-hour trial and I believe you can buy it right then and there, but it might.
I was like, it doesn't sound like it. Everybody's saying they get 10 hours until next week.
Oh, maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe it is then.
I mean, that's the way it's. I've read it at least. I could be wrong. I don't know, but yeah, I was like, I think it's mostly just Premier Access on PC. So, us PC players, I will be streaming it and stuff like that, so you guys can check me out there. If you don't want anything spoiled, of course, you can save it for yourself. But the other piece we're going to talk about, like, believe me, once we actually get our hand, we're not going to dive too far in Anthem. We played the demos before. We talked about it. This is going to be the real version. One thing to know about Anthem, there is the version that's going live today. So this is what they were able to get in for February 15th. But there's a patch going for launch, like a day one patch that will have changes that will even be different for us next week. So not everything is in this patch, and then things will still be changing as well. So there will still be some things that are changing. I think a lot of the things are in the 15th, but not everything's in the 15th. So just keep that in mind if you're seeing stuff out there. 15th and 22nd will probably have some differences too.
Absolutely.
Final one, we got to talk about it. Or at least you got to talk about it.
Sir. Woo-hoo. What you want to start? Where you want me to start?
Division 2.
Yeah.
Private beta happened over the past weekend. There is going to be an open beta, so if you didn't get a chance to play the private, the open beta will get to the dates on that one. But I want to get your thoughts. I mean, you guys were shout out to Iron Lord's podcast for absolutely just ripping apart Anthem. So I was not you like I didn't get a chance to get most of it live, but I stepped in and you were fighting the good fight, and oh my god, you couldn't get a word in edgewise. So
those guys, they just done with it. Listen, for the people who didn't listen to the episode, it's just more so the main thing is the loot drops, the way they're handled in Anthem, and that they have an issue with, as well as Addict's issue, which is end game. He's a raid guy, so being that there's no conventional raid as we know to this point, that's what's literally got him tuned out. But whatever, this game looks great. We're getting it day one. We're going after this podcast. We're jumping in. But yeah, as far as Division, man, got a chance to really dig deep in it, and I enjoyed it in a different manner than I anticipated. Meaning that shout out to Novak. I'm about to get into it. The thing about it is, it literally, I could play it like a single player RPG, because what I was doing is, I was going to my settlements. I was like kind of doing little tasks for them to build them up, and they would give me specific rewards and stuff like that. And then what was cool was doing the control points. So they had different pockets of the city where this group called the hyenas, they were taking over. And it literally feels like, first of all, the atmosphere of the game literally feels like some post-apocalyptic. The city is run by lawlessness. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone's just doing whatever they want to do, and you got the groups and stuff. And I love that feel, man. It was really cool. So what I liked was the control point, and they had an area. I went in there, kind of tactical, started to take them down. Then it started to get hot and heavy. Bosses came in, and you have the ability to hold with on Xbox to hold X, throw up a flare, and being that I already helped that settlement, and I had a settlement established that was in the vicinity, they came over. It was like 4 or 5 to help me out as a solo player in the fight. I love that mechanic. Like, it just felt so cool, man. Like, I love it. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, I see y'all talking crap in the chat. Yes, there was some issues. I did have some technical issues. At least I got into the demo, unlike Anthem's first joint. But yeah, man, I like Dizzy. I get it. It's not for you, bro. It's bland and boring. It's just not for you. I'm having a great time with it. But yeah, man. So basically, what happened is I got those guys in. And we kind of took over the control point, loved it. And then from there, you kind of establish a little community with that control point. And then they ask for resources and stuff like that. And I enjoyed that. Touched a little bit of PvP, really enjoyed that. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's showing me that I can play this solo, which I didn't expect. The also thing that I like that they do, which Destiny needs to do, is if there's other people on your friends list or in the world having problems, you'll hear this thing. It'll be like, agent needs your help, or whatever it was. Now, you can disable that, but the thing I like about it, it promotes a cooperative thing. So if you choose to help someone, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, to back up. Like you can go into their world helper and vice versa. And I like that. And I wish Destiny had that, like when you're on patrols and stuff. You know, it's just a cool thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd never think I would enjoy it that much. You know what I'm saying? And then I like how the game, as you go through the campaign, it gets you through the dark zones. You know what I'm saying? It kind of gets you a feel of how that's gonna go. And then obviously the one bit of end game that they let you have, which I thought was really cool, was that Black Tusk faction that comes in as an end game that takes over. Think of it, if you're a Destiny fan, think of it like the Taken comes. It's like the Taken comes on every strike in every part of the map. And now they play different. You have to handle them different. They're harder, you know, really cool. And we haven't even seen the raid yet. So again, Division is one of those games that if you didn't like the first one, and mind you, I wasn't a fan of the first one. I didn't like the end game. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't like the first one or you don't like tactical shooters, this game is not for you. Straight up. This is not space magic. This is none of that. You know what I'm saying? This is cover to cover base and RPG mechanics and looking at builds and doing gear sets. If you love that minutia with good team play, this is for you. You know what I'm saying? If not, hey, you got Anthem. You got Destiny. This is gonna do well though, only for the simple fact that they've got a lot of different modes and a lot of different ways to play. And I think that community was very strong towards the end. When a lot of people stopped playing it, that game got better and better. And I think unlike Destiny 2, which regressed at its launch, Division brought all the features that got better at the end of D1 at this launch. So, you know, I think they're going to be fine. I think they really are going to be fine. So we'll see. They've had their issues. They got, you know, the director put out a tweet, you know, pretty much all the issues that were in the initial beta. Like there was some sound drops. I know a couple people got kicked here and there. You know, the sound drops were what I experienced, where the gun wasn't making, you know, anything. I get it.
I had that the whole time.
Really? I only had it on console. I've only had it like once or twice, honestly. But I heard
I had it for a long time, couple times. And then the first day they patched something overnight, like 3 a.m. And that was where like my Delta errors, like Delta 3, like I got that like 7 times the first day. I was like, oh. And then like I didn't really get that maybe once for the rest of the time I played after that. So it was like that overnight patch did seem to fix the Delta errors, which was good. And shout out to both games, like Anthem and this, like making pretty quick switches on getting some things flowing better after first day hiccups. Like it's good that they can actually make those adaptations like this. Like this is stuff we're not sadly used to in the world of Destiny because everything seems to take a little bit longer. Yeah. Like if they can do like live patches overnight, update things where they like literally fix stuff on the fly, that's actually really, really good news for both of these, that they can be adaptive and change stuff up as they need to.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Sam Refran in the chat. He says, if you're not the same level as your friends, you can still join them. The game scales you up to them, still earn XP and keep your loot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I love that aspect. Again, it's little things, minutia, and more. It's a solid gameplay experience. I'm not worried about the Division in the least. It's just one of those things that, yeah, they still got some work they have to do. They still have you know, bugs and technical issues they got to fix, and they still have to we still have to see that end game. We have to see how that actually is. And I noticed that once you get over 3 players, the bosses did get spongier. So I want to know how they handle that, because I felt the time to kill was in a really good place when I played solos with dual, with, you know, a double. But we'll see. But I know your experience wasn't that good. I know your Dark Zone experience wasn't good. So tell me about the opposite. Your experience wasn't that good.
So I mean, mine was things like changing levels between a ledge or something like that. I got hung up for like 10 seconds in a looping animation, and that's like deep down engine code base. So I mean, that's stuff where you got to wonder, like, stuff getting fixed. It felt like me, like if I got out of cover, or if I wanted to, like me being in cover and then I'd like pop out of cover. Felt like I was glued to cover, and it felt more like on pillars. Like if I was going back and forth on something, sometimes like the cover felt like I was sticky as I should be, but then there were other times I'd be like on the edge and it's like, hey, I want to peek out, or I want to go turn the other way, and I'd like back away from the cover. Like it didn't feel like, I don't know, it didn't feel the same as D1. Like I would tell you that was like one of the best cover shooters I've ever experienced. Absolutely. Division 1 was solid. Like, and something about this one felt different to me that didn't feel What?
Cover-wise, you had a problem? I'm surprised by
Yeah,
that.
I had cover issues, whether it was staying in cover or getting from like there were times when it was working perfect, like it was working as it should, felt like Division One, and then there were other times it just didn't feel quite right to me. It was like whether it was trying to go up and down, it said those looping animations get stuck. So it was like doorways I would be like stuck on or trying to like go around the corner, and I'd be like hung. I'd have to like step back away, go out and around, and make it very deliberate to like not catch. So there were technical glitches like that were messing with me quite a bit, which got kind of annoying. And then kind of as you're saying, you're either going to really like this game or you're not. And this is just a personal preference thing too. And I'm not saying I don't. I'm probably going to pick this thing up and try it out because, yeah, I know it was a beta. But in turn, it's also how much are you going to enjoy this? Now, when you have like armor plating on some of these guys instead of a dude in a beanie that you're shooting with like 6,000 bullets, that actually had a better feel. And shout out to Skill Up, he had a pretty good breakdown on this one. That at least gave it a better feel in your head. Like, hey, 1,000 bullets into this guy and not doing anything. Well, okay, I'm trying to break this armor plating. Okay, I broke the armor plating. He died pretty quick. That actually, I like that mechanic because it gives the spongier bosses a feel. If I'm fighting a giant Titan or a giant, Ursix or whatever in Anthem, I'm like, okay, some giant crazy thing. Yeah, that's probably going to take a few more. In this, you're still fighting humans. They have a way to finally make it make sense in people's heads. So if they are spongy, in your head, you're like, okay, it kind of makes sense. Now, if I put a sniper rifle in somebody's head, it's not like Ghost Recon where they die. It's still an RPG, and that's just one of those things you got to decide if you like or you don't.
Yeah, true that.
And that's, again, a feel. I mean, there's space magic. There's people on other planets with, like, Iron Man suits, and then you're still walking around DC with people. If I shoot somebody in the head with a sniper rifle, you die. Normally, you do. In this one, if it's a higher level, you don't. But that's the way an RPG works. That's the way the game mechanics are, and that's fine. I mean, that's literally the way the game goes. You are going to have higher. It's an RPG, so you are going to have higher health pools, higher damage weapons, and those types of things. For my feel for Washington D.C., I liked it. It was different than New York, and nothing against New York. It was its own thing, but you definitely got the very grid streets and everything, and it was still a decent grid to a point, but you had some more openings. You had the White House lawn that you came up when you did the opening of the beta, which felt really cool. I gotta be honest, I actually walked in the Oval Office and I was like, damn, there it is. Like, those things were cool to feel for like that first time. The way the strongholds, were they strongholds? I keep calling that from Anthem, but I was like, I forget the outside base areas that you'd go like help out to build up.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about the settlements?
Settlements. Yeah. Sorry, wrong word. See, I told you it was the wrong word. Like, the settlements were cool because you have these things. I hear you eventually will like build up a roof on top of it, and you'll like have the evolution of these other areas that will help you kind of unlock things. So, I mean, they've got a lot of systems in there to it, which is cool. I mean, as you said, the guns will feel, some of mine felt like trash. But they're early, they're beta, they're like low-level guns. It took me a little while to even get a scope so I could start hitting some people. So some of that stuff takes a little while. It still feels like a sniper rifle, especially if you're going to play but you like playing aggressive is definitely going to take a build for it. Early on, you've still got to stay in cover, got to have a sniper rifle for some shots, have something for those guys who run up close. I don't know. I was like, for me, and this is what a lot of people have felt, if you like Division 1, you're going to like this one. If Division 1, either you got tired of it or you were looking for something new, this is not it. I mean, Division 2 is Division 1 evolved. They took a lot of the things they learned. They took a lot of the systems. Some are normalized. The menus kind of seem real janky. I don't know. And that's one of those things, like, whether it's good, bad, or otherwise, but on PC, it felt like there were so many clicks. I had to double click things in my menu. I'm like, that should be singles only. So
menu ain't that great either. Anthem's menus are not that great.
No, believe me. It's like, and there's some stuff like they adjusted one piece of it, and then there's more, but it's like, no, it's still not perfect either. So it's like UI. I was like, Shadow, we've been like, Bungie's Destiny UI has been a work in progress before it came out, but I mean, they managed to nail something pretty well, at least in that's been pretty good so far. As for healing, for me, that's a different animal now. I will definitely say the having to stay in cover more, it's definitely a lot more tactical, and that's what they wanted. So I mean, they absolutely nailed the fact that if you're out of cover, you're in trouble. But I will definitely say there are times when I tried to get up and like start sprinting or get into sprinting or trying to move, like it felt a little more lumbering. It felt like the Colossus would basically in Anthem. Like the
What's going
Colossus.
on with movement? I did not struggle with moving in this game at all.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude, like no, I'd like my sprinting felt slow, trying to get between cover. Like sometimes just feel like I'm trying to like step out of mud real quick. Like no, mine didn't feel like Division 1 felt as I thought it should. Like it was tactical. You had those pieces. You could move. If I was going between cover, if I wanted to sprint, it felt like it was there. In this one, it just everything felt sluggish to me. And I don't know if it was the build or what, but it just mine felt off. And again, like open beta, maybe we'll see if they get some changes in there or something like that. But mine felt
setting you have because it's literally if you like Division 1's movement, it's literally Division 1's movement.
right. Yeah, it something felt off from either what I remember or what I don't know. It's just been too long, but yeah, it's like it was different. So I don't know, but that was like, but I mean, some of the stuff they're doing with like the taking over of the Black Tusk, like to evolve the entire world, they're giving that like upgraded world space of like everything you went through and cleared out and everything getting taken over. They're giving it a lore reason to have you go back and fight all those missions. So as we said before, what is your looter shooter of choice? Because you're going to be repeating stuff, different ways, different things, and it's like what floats your fancy. We're probably going to be playing all three of them. I'm not sorry. It's like I know I was hard on it right there. I really was, but for me, as I got done playing Anthem, as you said, it felt new, which is like kind of the new hotness, and then kind of as Will Smith says in Men in Black, you got old and busted. And this is like it's not old and busted, but it's like like Division 1 polished up or new hotness, and you got like. I mean, you have Iron Man suits First Division. If Division does it for you, then it's like they took that game, they polished it up, they've kind of like cleaned some things up, they've added lore, they've added evolutions to missions, they've added a ton of stuff in there to give the people who like Division more. Now they're figuring stuff like the underground, survival, and those are many things that come in later, the free stuff. But then you've got and then there's different pieces to their free annual pass. It's like, okay, so you get the free stuff. But if you pay early or get this version, you'll get 3 days before all the free stuff. So it's like everybody's got their different version, whether it's like Anthem with its, I get the week early just because I'm on PC, but I'm not really going PvP. If you get 3 days early access to new content because you paid for it, then that's a little different too. So everybody's got their different pieces.
Yeah, I mean, all I would say is, again, I get it. New hotness, something new, and it feels great. I get that aspect. All I would say to the Anthem guys, because clearly we know which direction you're leading.
At least from the two I played, that's my feel of fun so far.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Division versus Anthem, and the only reason why is I have nothing against Anthem. It's just my issue comes down to once the newness wears off, and it gets down to a Diablo endgame, which is the same strikes, the same strongholds, just on Grandmaster difficulty, where the mechanics do not change, and it's just bullet sponge. How long am I going to be playing it? That's my only concern with the game. Whereas with Division, we have mechanics and we have raids and end-game content. So that's my thing. Like once the narrative is finished and you've got the cool story and they're doing these bombastic trailers and that sounds great, what is going to keep driving me to keep doing that? Because you're going to get to a point where you're going to get those builds, right? You're going to get those cool abilities. And shout out to MTash. She has a great Anthem video right now, as far as like what to do right off the bat. And it's like, again, the stronghold just seems to me like bullet sponge boss, and it's no other mechanics. You know what I'm saying? It just I'm concerned about the long term. I really am. I'm concerned that once the hype of being Iron Man wears off and you doing that same 3 strongholds or whatever it is, like I'm hoping these cataclysms are something cool and different, because I can see this thing fizzling out if they don't keep content pumping.
You're not wrong. Like, and that's a worry of mine too. But also, as like I've said too, no one has enough time to play all of this stuff. And for me, one of the reasons I'm kind of looking forward to Anthem in that way is if I look into Anthem and I play like 40 hours, 50 hours, like burn it hard for a month. And then, Division 2 comes out. It's got the new hotness. It's feeling good. It's got the rate up. But I got 50 hours out of Anthem. Like, I
You're good.
grinded it up. I went through the lore, and I got that, like, and it makes me step away from Destiny for a little bit. Maybe I just do my quick Tuesday thing here and there, but I'm playing mostly Anthem for like a month, and it makes me step off. Honestly, that's a refresher that I'm looking forward to. Even if it doesn't last forever.
Well, I know what this is. I'm gonna cut you one thing. I'm gonna tell you what this is. You and Kaimatsu are on the same wave, and I know what's going on here. You guys are making business decisions, and what I mean by that is you guys are saying, "Hey, Destiny's first love, or whatever it may be, right?" And you're like, "I can't do both of these games." And I get it. It's.
I mean, I can't do all three of these, much less two of them. It's a pain in the butt to try and find time to really deep on any of these. Like, I mean, you got Destiny coming with Season of the Drifter, and we'll see how deep that. I mean, what if Destiny 2 Season of the Drifter is like deep? What if they actually have some stuff in there? You're going to be like stepping back from the other two. You're going to be like, it's hard to balance all three. It's just, there's no question about it. So
what the reason why I said what I said with you and Kaimatsu is that if Anthem is just that, let's just say worst case scenario, and it is just that, it's the perfect distraction game to get away from Destiny and still be able to come back to it and still be able for both to coexist, right? Whereas here comes Division.
Division's another commitment. That's like another relationship you got to get into. So,
and I just want folks to be honest about some of their reasonings as to why they're making decisions that they are. I'm not saying that Anthem's not good. Anthem looks phenomenal. As soon as this podcast is over, I am jumping on. I'm gonna do this thing, man. You know what I mean? There's no doubt. I'm not hating on it, but I realize what's happening is the looter shooter space is very full right now, and people are making business decisions.
I mean, you got to figure out where your time feels important. And for me, the fun I had, like playing Division 2 beta, felt like, okay, yes, I'm back in Division 1. It's just in a different place. It didn't grab me the way I jumped off the ledge in my first javelin, jump, fly. Like, it felt different. Casting lightning down as a storm is different than pulling out my 50 cal that for one is way too zoomed.
And
that 50 cal and that specialization, I was like, whoa, this is real twitchy. And still, like, when I pull out the 50 cal, I was like, that's supposed to be like your ultimate. And then all of a sudden I shoot a guy and I'm like, okay, I did some damage. But if I pull out the siege cannon on a Colossus and it has a different feel, and it's like, do you like the tactics or do you like the space magic? And that's going to be part of where the fun lies too, and that's different strokes for different folks. That's honestly the point of, I don't hate any of these. I'm not trying to bash any of them. It's like my initial feeling was Anthem over Division. If Anthem fizzles and Division holds on and those raids are cool. But then again, I want to see what these raids offer, because you take a Destiny raid and you have things like, a Vex Time Lord, or you have a Taken King to fight against. And if I'm fighting with, that's where I wonder how much variety you can have. Is there going to be like, a helicopter airship that you've got to shoot pieces off of to try and knock it down, and then have just some armored dude come out? Like, how do the mechanics work on a Division 2 in-game boss when all we've seen so far is basically some dude with armor, somebody with a minigun on like a perch as just kind of like a defense point.
Yeah, we don't know.
So it's like, what? And we don't have a clue what the mechanics are. But again, when you keep it grounded in reality, how far out of that box can you get? And again, we're just going to have to see how far they step, or at least how creative they get. And I am quite curious to see what an 8-person raid, 2 different teams maybe working on, similar objectives, like infiltrating. Like, honestly, this is one thing I would love from Destiny, or, if they ever add like more in-game stuff to Anthem. It's like, I want to see 2 teams split up. And it's one thing we rarely got in, Multiple Glass did this. Like, split up, working on multiple things at the same time, but you can't see each other. You have to talk, but you can't see each other. And you're like, okay, we got this room. And then you come together and you've got to like bring stuff in, or you've got to flank from both sides, be like, hey, I'm going to grab his attention. You got your big sniper ready. Okay, I'm going to pull him, turn him. You guys on the other team unload on his backside so we can do that. If it's something like that, Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're gonna get me in there pretty damn quick. So it's like, I mean, I'm dead serious. Like, those are the things. If you make it
Talking
mechanic,
about a
you
match
make
right
rooms that are gonna be like, because D1 incursions, I'm sorry, that first one just broke me to be like, it sucks. Like, it's a toolbox with an APC that fires rockets the whole time. I'm like, we're underground in a room and you're firing explosions. One, everyone, including the enemies, are all deaf because you're indoor explosions over and over. Two, at some point, it's just not going to feel good and all that other stuff. So it's like, if you give me more to work through, is going to be a thing. But honestly, it's like, if you give me more armored bullet sponges, I mean, how many heavy armored guys did they have in D1 in those incursions? They had nothing but heavy, spongy guys. Like, if they released like the army of like 5 armored guys, you're like, shit. Like, that's going to so. Yeah, I mean, I can speculate all day. We'll just have to see.
Real quick, shout out to Sam RE fan. Thank you, brother, with the $5 super chat. What
Absolutely,
a great episode today. Thank you. So yeah, we passionate, man. We love these looter shooters. We get crazy, but we gotta have the last word. He's got the last word on Division right now.
It's just like it was the difference in. This is still Division. I mean, it is absolutely Division. It is a pure-on sequel, as a sequel to a game should be. Destiny screwed the pooch.
What's slander?
No, I never said it was a bad thing. I said if you like Division, this is a true by and by. This is a sequel, keeping things like very true to what it was. Some evolutions, adding more.
Don't like the terminology you're using that it's the same, because it's not. And here's the reasons why it's not the same.
Oh my God, hold on.
Okay.
You can't log into Division 2 and tell me it doesn't feel like Division 1. That's what they're trying to do.
Finish.
Come on. It feels like I logged into Division 1. I mean, people have said 1.5, but it's like they're logging in. It's still Division.
Continue. When you're finished, I'll tell you why it's not. The difference is this. Okay. First of all, again, you stopped playing Division 1 after the initial incursions, probably around the same time I stopped playing, right? And at that point, we came to the same determination that, bullet spongy, really no mechanics. The incursions were trash. Nobody liked it. Then they pretty much made update after update, changed the way systems work, put gear systems, all that stuff, armor systems, all armor sets, all that kind of stuff in, changed the way exotic works, changed the way things drop. Okay, cool. Then survival mode came out, which I don't know if you played or not. Survival mode was excellent. That was an excellent mode.
Is that in Division 2?
It's coming. That's what I'm trying to say. You haven't been paying it. You've been sewing your Anthem bag with everything that
I'm saying, is it here right now? No, it's not.
It's coming. And here's the thing. Let's shout out to Alex. Which mean when? When's the raid coming for Anthem? Exactly. Yeah. At least the developer are saying these things are coming. That's all I'm trying to say. And with it's 1 week after launch. Anthem, they already told you there are no raids. They told you that. So at the end of the day, it's here's my counter to you. After you free roam all day, after you do Grandmaster difficulty, then what? That's what I'm trying to say. I'm going to have 6 things I can do. I can be in the dark zone. I can do PvP, which Anthem does not have. You know what I'm saying? And I can do a raid. There's tons of things to do. So that's what I'm trying to say. So again, you may say that's boring, but all I'm just trying to say is right now, if this is a race, you guys got the short term. You're new, you're hot, you're fly, you're doing things that's different. But if this is a marathon, I can see this thing passing this game, Anthem, if Anthem does not keep up content. And we still don't know if the narrative is good. You can show me all the Neil, whatever his name, trailers. That's not in the game. That's a movie some dude made on the side. That's not in the game. Let's see what it is. Do they have that BioWare feel? Do they have those characters that you're going to care about, that's going to make you want to play? Again, so let's put things.
Does Division have characters that I care about, by the way? Because I didn't.
I didn't have any characters. I couldn't name one person in Anthem.
Did you play the 3 missions? You talked to one dude.
There was nothing interesting about any of them. There was nothing that felt Dragon's Age. Did you play Mass Effect? There was no icon. Name one character by name in Anthem that's iconic, that made you feel away? Nobody. They don't even have.
Matthias was the one dude in the mission you talked to, and I can tell you his name right there.
All I'm saying is, before we start crowning things,
I never said I'm crowning anything. I've said I have my reservations about Anthem. I'm just saying Division 2 as a feel is truly like shout out to Elbow in chat. I think Division 2 is if you played Division 1 and you were like, hey, this game isn't for me, would you tell someone to play Division 2?
Probably not if they don't like tactical game, but that's a different argument.
No, but that's what I'm saying is like it is a very, very, very good evolution of Division. You have the PvP in there. You have the Dark Zone split up. Now I have my issues with the Dark Zone, but that's just me. You've got, potential if these other things do come, like survival was cool. Like having everybody on the same playing field, all that stuff I liked that the underground, like the evolution. Those were cool, like different ways. And they've got the gear sets coming in pretty quickly. Believe me, I wish I had gear sets in Destiny. Oh my God, do I wish I do. So, I mean, there are things about it that I really, really like. Trust me. Like there are things like they deep dive in the numbers. Now, a lot of the perks that I've seen have like a plus and a minus, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping something that eventually does get to be like plus and plus if you get to end game.
Play Division 1, they can go down a road of OP builds that are unkillable. Again, you stop playing. That's what I'm trying to say. Like you go
I know hard. I know I did. I'm not saying I didn't.
Rock with that because all those things that were created for balance have been implemented. That's all I'm saying, bro. It's just not for you. You want to be Iron Man. I get it. Iron Man is cool. I get it. And a lot of people want to be Iron Man. All I'm saying is let's revisit this 3 months down the road, 6 months, right? And let's see what happens. I just feel more confident with the bland, boring same game that actually has an end game and actually has things to come back to than something that I'm unsure of, that maybe it's a one and done kind of a situation. That's all.
So I guess this is the question. So if it does play out like you're speculating, you prefer you literally just said a bland, boring end game. Using your words. I'm just saying you said it. So a bland, boring end game versus a flash in the pan.
I'm not going to say bland, boring end game because one, raids.
You just said it.
Versions were. We got raids now. I don't know what raids are.
And that's the question. I hope they are good. I really do.
Yeah, me too. I hope they're great too. I just know 8 players. Even Destiny's not doing 8. So I'm dying to know what that feels like. How is that going? I will say this. If you guys are curious about endgame aspect with Division, please watch Eric's video. He's sitting down with both of the devs. I'll try to get the link to it. And he questioned them. Not only did he say, the devs say, the raids are going to be mechanic heavy, which surprised me. I was like, mechanics? Really? Then he said raids, plural. So that really got me excited because, to be honest, I thought this would just be some flash in the pan thing. They try, and it's just like, okay, we did it. We said we did it for a buzzword marketing thing. They are really going at this. See, the difference between Ubisoft and Bungie is they actually seem like they've learned from their mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
Not wrong. They've continued to evolve.
I'm not going to bet against someone who feels like that's learned, because when Division 1, as faulty as it was, it took the Destiny community away when it launched. I remember those days, man. So we'll see. And I'm not wishing anything bad on Anthem. We're gonna play this Anthem. I just want to see long term. That's all I want to see. I just want to see what else is there. Am I gonna burn out? That's my only concern. And I get it.
I mean, I like I will say, like, what they have learned is really good, because D1, you got to the end, like, hey, go to the Dark Zone, get all this stuff. Absolutely hated the Dark Zone because you would just get trolled. So that got really, 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 really old. The fact that you have the world evolve, you have the Black Tusk people to fight, you have potentially like those contracts that you found, or the bounties. I found some dude in the end game mission. I wandered around after I popped out, and I found like some guy who was going to give me like a contract, or I couldn't do it, but it was like there was a dude sitting in a corner having this like secret, like it was like a drug bust gone wrong, but it was actually like did you see that guy? Did you find him, or you know what I'm talking about?
I didn't encounter, but I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I was like, I ran into that guy and it's like, oh, this is going to be something else to go fight. So if there are things, and honestly, the way, like, as myself, when I went through that in-game mission, now granted, that was a pretty stout build, obviously. But it did feel doable. It didn't feel ridiculous the way if I tried to solo, what were they called before in D1? You know, when they took the missions to like ultra hard. You know what I'm talking about?
Not you're talking about
it was Division One. Division One. It was like you'd go back in and you'd crank it up, and if like I wanted to try and do that thing solo, it was so hard, it was stupid.
Right.
Like if they have the difficulty to a point where it's like actually doable, takes some time to get there, and actually feels like stuff I can solo, and I don't have to go do to the dark zone by myself, but there's still plenty of stuff to do. And that's the thing. This is coming from a solo player.
I feel
as a solo player. Depending on the matchmaking, which seemed pretty smooth, even though I didn't do it, I heard it was pretty solid. If those are going to be options in there, then I can go put another 50, 100 hours in Division and see where I end up. And I'm going to be cool with that too. So for me, it's like, it's just is the drive for me to go into Division because it is the realism. How did everything feel? Like if some of the tweaks are like, you know, and everything's going to have a beta build, which is going to be from a while ago. Same thing as Anthem. Was it perfect? No, there's a patch today. But it's like if I jump into Division and I can go throw some hours into that, and that gives me, again, during this season of the Drifter, which is going to be this evolution of Gambit, which may not last that long, this may be a perfect time that I actually can play both of them. So I have my fingers crossed that both of these are cool. They're going to be different animals completely. One is going to be that, and we'll see what the evolution is. The other is a game of a sequel of a long supported game that has some cool evolutions that I'm hoping keep my interest.
Absolutely.
And that's my hope. So
what it's come down to. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, like I said, it's not for everybody. I'm not going to fool myself into thinking there's going to be people like a Dizzy who's in the chat who the minute
Dizzy's just mean today. Dizzy just mean.
He represents a subset of gamers that, you know, they're not trying to do any type of cover based, you know, tactical kind of, that's just not their thing. You know what I'm saying? And just the same thing, like you said, I'm full aware that there's people that's like, hey, at the end of the day, it's just guys with armor. It's not me. I want space magic, you know. And then there's guys like Death Grips, who's in my chat, who's like, yo, I'm, you know, after a while you get tired of that. And they want that, you know, change of pace kind of thing. And it's going to come down to what you love first, right? The style of game you love first, the style of looter shooter you like first, and then the execution of said looter shooter. So that, you know, like I said, because I'll tell you right now, if Anthem keeps bringing it, right? And Anthem, I don't even care if they don't. I'll tell you this. This is where Anthem will steal me away from Division. Anthem, I'll tell you,
the blueprint. I was like, these are words I haven't heard before.
Right now, it's not, but I'll give you the blueprint, what they got to do. I'm going to play it. I'm going to love it. But I'm just saying, to keep me there, right? What they're going to have to do is say, okay, which is like kind of what Mass Effect used to do. Like every DLC, it would be a very heavy, intense, narrative-driven thing where I want to know what happens to the freelancers. I want to know what's going on. And it's so story-driven and it's hot. And then the other thing that they got to do, even if they're not going to do raids, right? They got to do Stronghold, where I'm fighting some epic Oryx looking kind of thing, right? And, you know, you got to fly up. You use your verticality. Use the things that no one else can do, not even Destiny. They've got a scope. They've got a foundation that is so new, that is so cool, that they can make something epic. If
How big of an enemy can you fight?
Man, could you imagine?
Oh, dude, like doing just playing Stronghold mission before, like, I mean, that spider's like, I mean, it's not bigger than me, obviously. It smashes me in the face when I was the interceptor. I was big squishy, but like, take that thing and crank it up by, I don't know, 10x, and like when you're going through the Stronghold, you're in the second area where you're picking up all the little can't remember the name, little glowy things, and you're getting the 12 on that section. Imagine a dude like, you know, 5 times the size of the spider walking around in an area like that. Like, that's the type of stuff.
Could you imagine like an Oryx or what's the Riven in Anthem's world?
Yeah, Riven actually fully exposed, basically.
then it's over. Then it's everybody needs to pack their looter shooter and go home. Like I know the potential of this game. I don't want to come across as a hater. Trust me. I just need to see it. And give me that story, give me that good stuff. Man, I will betray Division so fast. I will throw, as King said, Division in the bushes if they do that. But
all right, BioWare, you heard it. Come on, Ben Irving. If you ever listen to this, you know what it takes to get Division in the bushes. You've got your answer.
As it stands right now, they talking. I could grab 8 of my friends in Division, and if it's any bit cool where it's 4v4 and they split us up and it's like, hey, you guys do this and you break that segment up and man, it could be special. We'll see. I mean, it's all going to come down to the execution of both games. And
I think the potential of Anthem, as you're saying, if they can really ever deep dive into something of that scale, none of these other games, I mean, Destiny can do its Space Magic pieces, but like it can't touch it.
Yes.
Because Anthem can get that scale, as you're saying. Now, the other piece about it as well is you're saying, hey, there's PvP involved. We still have that piece of Destiny coming back of things have to be PvP balanced.
Right.
If you go into that end game dark zone, the occupied one where everything's on the playing field, you can't have anything broken. Anthem can keep throwing broken stuff at you because all you're going to do is fight crazier stuff. So it's like there are some benefits of being PvE only, and that's one thing that we'll have to see how that plays out too, is if it's worth it. So
absolutely, and don't forget the fact that remember it's Dark Zone technically PvE versus PvE and PvP, and then there's standard PvP only. Did you do standard PvP only with the what I forgot the name of the term? It's kind of like deathmatch, and then they have
I forget the other one. Yeah, I didn't quite get into that one. I'm gonna try that in the open beta.
Yeah, so just wait. You'll fight Metal Gear Division 2. Yeah, see, that's what I was gonna save that. I wasn't even gonna go at him with that. I'm gonna say because he's been hating, so I'm gonna save that because everybody
Metal Gear. Yeah, just a mech. But I was like. Okay, so what are my guns gonna do to like a mech warrior? Like,
I'm telling you, man. They listen. That Black Tusk faction is doing something they're Trojan horsing something that you guys don't even realize, which is the non-human element type. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be these robot type things.
And the robot dogs. So.
Yeah, and then you can get creative. But we'll see. If we got Terminators and robot, I'm good.
Terminators, robot dogs, and giant space dragons. We're just going to be playing all the games. So,
but that's all I got. We've argued. We've both been having the last word fighting for these games.
Oh yeah, it's been fun. I mean, that's kind of the thing. You guys see our passion. It's like Destiny's there. We've been in this thing for 5 years. We're going to stick with it. We're going to see what happens. But our feelings are that they're playing their cards pretty right. The Season of the Drifter and Evolution of Gambit is not going to be this like. There's probably even going to be less to it than Armory, honestly. Is my hunch. The Black Armory probably had more than Season of the Drifter, is my feeling. They're saving some for Redacted to get some hype back up, or at least they had to stick to that plan. And then they may honestly just have to drop the ball come E3 that there may not be that much more. We'll see. But we've got 2 games, different feels, both potentially a lot of fun, some love, some hate going both directions, and that's okay. It's honestly just to see where the things settle. And honestly, if you have the flash in the pan and Anthem, have a good time, and then you jump into Division and you're grinding up every little gear bit thing you can, well, guess what? You got to have fun as a gamer. And it's a hell of a time to be a gamer.
So. Great time. Listen, that's why I love that we actually did change our name to Last Word because shout out Vagabondo. Thank you, bro. That means a lot. Thank you for that comment. Good job. You gave me. Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, I like that we changed it because we're in a space now where it's not just Destiny, right? We're in this space where we got these great games, all at one time, and we gotta have the last word on these things, man. We gotta talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We can't just pigeonhole ourselves because there's some really cool ideas out there, content, and again, at the end of the day, competition is good. It pushes. It's going to push Bungie. It's going to push Massive. It's going to push BioWare. You know what I mean? Like, this is what you want. And ultimately, it's going to make these games better. And, so maybe one of them doesn't survive. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they're going to go hard to try, all 3 of them to try to retain their community. So It's a good time, man. But let's get Ebontis out of here. I kept the man. I kept a sick man arguing. I apologize. I kept this man. We fighting tooth and nail. This man is sick, man. We got to get him out of here. He's got videos to do and rest after that.
All right, guys. It's been a hell of a lot of fun this morning. Chaps have both been on fire. Shout out to Vagabondo, said Fred, Dizzy. You just been mean up here this morning. Sammer fan, like it's been great. All you guys, Ravager, Death Grips, everybody. So it's been
on fire.
Yeah, I know. All you guys in there, Deathlaw, Michael. So you guys have all been amazing this morning. Thank you guys very much. On me. The voice will hold on to what it can. Feel like I'm just clear my throat occasionally. It's doing all right. But yeah, Anthem is we going to be jumping in. So I'll be streaming some of it potentially. So if you guys don't want any spoilers, don't watch. It's up to you. I'll put a spoiler warning on there. But outside of that, I'm going to be jumping into the campaign. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. It's Ebontis everywhere. You guys know I'm still going to do my Destiny stuff. I don't even know if I'm going to take the time to do Xur right now. It comes out in an hour, so we'll see. But yeah, lots of stuff going on. It's been awesome, and that's all I got. Ebontis everywhere, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Find me. You know where to find me.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to E for coming through and still doing the last word today. Really was fun, man. I know the man is sick, and he definitely still came through. And we had a fan. I think it's probably one of our best.
We had a pretty good going at it there.
We're good at it, man. This is good, man. And at the end of the day, like I said, thanks for doing it. But yeah, man, you know the deal with me at Lord Cognito on Twitter and on YouTube. The Iron Lord Podcast returns Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Every Sunday is the Lord's Day. We will have Bloody Knuckles from the Smash Podcast. We'll be talking gaming. We'll be talking little film, little comic movie, little anime. But primarily gaming. A lot of what's going on in the industry right now. Crackdown 3. The Nintendo Direct will be discussed. Obviously, we will touch a little bit of Anthem that'll be released as well because it'll be out.
Shout out to Tetris 99, by the way. Already been playing that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Battle Royale Tetris is out there.
Hilarious. Yeah.
For free. So make sure you
just here you go.
Yeah, man. They stealth dropped a lot of stuff, man. And this is a good time. And like I said, for everyone, please get on that Anthem if you're in Origin Access or EA Access. Touch it up. You know, we're gonna break this thing down when we return next week. And again, thanks for my brother Ebontis for coming through, man. I know he was sick, and I'm so glad that we was able to do this show. It was a lot of fun. But that's all I got, man.
Yep. So to everyone out there, enjoy your weekend, whatever it holds. Mine's going to be a lot of the Division. So I will see you all. And yeah, we out. Have a good one.
Peace.
See you.